the World Healing Tour movement with your host, Noah Crane. Heal yourself, heal the world. Hello, and welcome to the World Healing Tour podcast, where our mission is to help you heal yourself so you can heal the world. Hi, my name is Noah Crane. Each week, we will bring you tips and tools and inspire you to live your most empowered and joy-filled life. I'm also the author of the book, The Grass is Greenest Where I Am, because the grass is greenest where you are when you say so. When you choose to live in a place of no comparison, no competition, and no scarcity. When you choose to live in your own love and light and share your unique gifts with the world, because we're all unique. And that's why it's called World Healing Tour, because when you heal yourself, you truly create that ripple effect for others to heal as well. Each week, I bring incredible guests into studio to help pour into you and support you on your journey. I'm blessed to have two incredible guests today, and I'm so excited to be collaborating on an incredible event with them called the World Healing Tour Collective. So I'm going to start with introducing my first guest, who's more like a sister to me, and I am super excited to be collaborating with her on this event and to be doing so many things with her. She's such a beautiful person inside and out. She's got such a generous heart, and from the first time I met her, I knew that's somebody really special that I could totally run with and do amazing things in the world together. Tami Wellman is a Christian author and mindset, wellness, and business success coach. With over 30 years' experience in leadership development and life mastery, Tami Wellman is a trusted voice in personal growth and transformational living. She specializes in helping individuals unlock their purpose, ignite their passion, and create lives filled with joy, vibrant health, lasting wealth, and a meaningful impact. A gifted community builder, Tami empowers others to rise, lead, and live with intention. Tami Wellman, welcome to the World Healing Tour podcast. I'm so excited to have you here with me today.
Thank you, Noah, so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're twin sisters with the curly hair. So excited to have you here. So excited that we're coming together to create the World Healing Tour Collective event. And just the transformation we're going to bring to people together is so exciting. So I'm super excited to have our keynote speaker here with us today, Orly Amor. She's incredible. And we're so happy to be able to interview her today on the podcast. So I'm going to introduce her now, and we're going to start an amazing conversation. And I hope you all tune in to listen to this podcast. Orly Amor is a celebrated global speaker, a woman of vision, courage, and conviction. With a life story that spans boardrooms, women's shelters, and international stages. Orly brings not only wisdom, but life experience. Her message is about the actual tools that help you rewire perspective and step boldly into life aligned with truth. Her talk in the World Healing Tour Collective is going to be Your Mindset is Your Biggest Asset. At the World Healing Tour Collective, she will open the evening and set the tone for everything that follows. You'll laugh, reflect, remember what matters most, and walk away seeing your world in a whole different way. Orly Amor, welcome to the World Healing Tour podcast. I'm so excited to have you here with us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I have these two incredible women here in studio today, and I'm so excited that we're going to be bringing this incredible event, the World Healing Tour Collective. So Tami, I want to start with you and just ask you, why did you say yes to this event?
Wow. Well, when you and I first met, what I loved is that you had a heart that I could identify with, that I felt like reflected back to me some of the same things that I have worked so hard on. You know, many of us have a journey, right? When we're young, we feel like we have to do so many things alone, and we're longing for other people that build us up. We're longing for other people that, help support us as we learn to be parents or career women or, wives or whatever. And we're trying to figure this out because we're young and we don't feel like we have like this strong identity. And though through this process and this journey that we've all been through, many of us have realized, obviously, that we get to define what our identity, that we get to write our own story, that we get to step in with confidence, who we want to be and how we want to show up. And we've learned the power of doing that in, a community. And so when you came and introduced this opportunity that gathering like-minded people, gathering people that really want to be their best version of themselves, that want to step in and show up at life with joy and purpose and continue to make an impact their entire life, that was something that I wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, and I feel so blessed by that because I know you don't say lightly yes to things because you're a busy woman, you have a lot on your plate, and there's so many people always pulling at you. And the fact that you were able to see the bigger picture in this, I'm so grateful for. So I want to bring Orly also into the conversation. Orly, I'm so grateful that you said yes to being a part of the World Healing Tour Collective. I know you were at my last event, the World Healing Tour too. And I got to meet you there, and it really, you touched my heart with your, just who you are and your beautiful energy. And I'm just so grateful that you said yes to this collaboration because I know you too are so committed to changing the world in a positive way.
Of course. And, like attracts like, right? I was supposed to be there. I had just gotten off another cruise and our mutual friend said, you have to come to this event. I already bought you a ticket. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going. And it was a 2.5 hour drive. But you know what? When you're committed to something or when your heart tells you, you got to be there, you got to be there. And when you show up, you go up.
Yeah, and it was really such an honor. And the fact that you get, you're going to be the keynote speaker at this event. I mean, I've talked to so many people who I have never really seen you speak on stage, but I have friends that have, and they're just like, they can't stop raving about how you touch people's lives, how your energy, who you are, how you interact with the audience. I mean, we are so excited to showcase what you do and how you can help others rise, because I just want to say one more thing about this. I realized very early on that we can't do this journey alone. We need collaborations to be able to push forward. We're all here just for a amount of time we're going to be here, right? And we need to find the like-minded hearts, the like-minded people that want to leave a positive impact in the world. And I couldn't be more grateful to be connected to you, Orly, and you, Tami, to be able to do this together, because I can't do this alone. I need everyone to want to be a part of this, and the right people with the right heart in place that are not thinking just about themselves, but are thinking about the collective win for everybody. So I'm like beyond grateful to have the both of you here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when we the World Healing Tour event collective that you'll be speaking into, why are you so passionate about mindset and helping people get into a good mindset to be able to live the kind of life that they truly desire?
It's such a great and broad question. And a lot of people talk about mindset. There's a lot of people around the world. And the thing that is not really told to people is what steps to take about their own journey and their own mindset. And instead of saying, oh, I learned about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, it's not enough to just learn it, you got to apply it. And many things out there are more about saying, not applying. And I want to be able to give people a roadmap that will change them instantly. I promise you that your audience that day will leave not knowing who they are anymore, but actually embracing who they are and knowing what to do and take it to the next level on their own. So I'm really passionate about doing that part, the implementation.
Is it kind of mirroring to them, Orly, how great their life is within what you're talking about in your own story? Is that some of what they will be able to experience?
Well, one of the things that is very important to understand is that language is important. And whether we're thinking it or we're saying it, the words we use are affecting us unknowingly. And if we just took accountability to what we say and how we say it, then we can change our lives immediately. That's what I love about what I show people all over the world. I've already done it to about 200,000 people around the world. And the reason that they have that transformation is not about mirroring to them who they are, it's the discovery of who they really are. Sometimes society is forcing us to act in a certain way, behave in a certain way. There's so many rules that are not true, that are not real. And we follow them because we think that we are either going to be liked more or perceived in a certain way, or trusted more, whatever that reasoning is behind the rules that have been put in front of us since childhood, right? Don't talk to strangers. And yet, you know what? We do business these days. We got to talk to strangers. So it's kind of a contradicting lesson that we learned early on. Instead of, no, let's embrace talking to strangers. It's okay, depending on how.
Yeah, that's great. And changing the perspective. And then I wanted to also say that I have a chapter in my book, The Grass Grows Where I Am, which says your words create your world and your world is created by your words. So I'm with you about the power of words and how your words create everything. What's your thoughts about that as far as words go, Tami?
Yeah, absolutely. So you and I were talking about this earlier, that even though we know what we think becomes what we feel and then our actions follow, whether you're conscious of it or unconscious, it's going to happen. And so when you are thinking thoughts of doubt, it's going to create feelings of insecurity and then actions of limited, results, or maybe actions that you don't want. And you think you're stuck in this cycle when you realize the power that you can identify those words that you're using, those things you're telling yourself, those beliefs that you have adopted, whether it's something that somebody told you when you were a child that made you feel you weren't enough, or maybe, you are always looking for someone else's validation before you make a decision. At some stage you realize that you are, creating the life that you either want or don't want based on how you're thinking. And so when you learn the tools to change your thinking, to identify it on a daily basis, and to replace those beliefs and thoughts that aren't serving you well with more positive ones, like I can give you like a really practical one, many people run into. I deal with a lot of women in midlife. And a couple of them, have to do with, they're losing their identity. They're not moms anymore. Their kids are out of the house. Their body and hormones are not responding to them. And they feel this disorientation and this lack of confidence that's going on with them. And one of the things that it's really important to help them realize is, so define who you are. If you can answer that question, I am, and define who you are, that's where you can, shift your life in the direction you want to go, identifying beliefs and statements that really don't serve you anymore. Like, for instance, I can't, lose weight. I'm not good with money. Whatever. Other people could do those things, but I can't. I don't feel like I could walk into that space. Whatever. Those are somebody else's beliefs that you've, adopted, and you can realize, yes, you can. If you want to be the woman that can walk in that space, you absolutely can. You can lose weight and be healthy. You can start brand new things and be successful at it. You just need to shift your thoughts from, I can't do all those things, to I can, and I'll learn how, and I'll grow in those things, and I'll surround me with people that will support me in those things. And so learning those skills on a daily basis, it doesn't go away. Even after you start to learn them, as you and I were talking about, you still on a daily basis, things come up that make you realize you need to keep growing. And
Absolutely.
As you told me, what did you say was so important when we, get stressed out about things? What did you tell me that was so important?
When we get stressed out,
Yeah.
to talk to other people, not to stay in your head about it, right? Because being in your head is being in a bad neighborhood. Yeah. And so being able to shift perspective, and when I say about people in the event mirroring to you, is because when you're going through something stressful and you can't see your own beauty, I can show you your beauty, because I am you and you are me. And so we get to mirror that for each other. What's your thoughts about that, Orly?
Well, that's a loaded question, but my thoughts into mirroring, there is something in human behavior that's called mimicking. And I'll explain it through yawning. When somebody yawns, you yawn, and it's not because of empathy and because it's contagious. It is mimicking. If somebody looks at their watch, you look at your watch, even if you don't have one. That is mimicking. And we are And that's why we need coaches. That's why we need someone to show us the way. Yeah, I have an Orlyism that my client call it an Orlyism. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. Someone else needs to show it to you. So it goes to your point, Noah, that people need to show you who you are because you're looking at yourself the wrong way. There's a meme around the internet also. It's the cat looking in the mirror but seeing a lion, and we are the cats, and what other people see are the lion, the strong, the good, the beauty, and we just need somebody to show it to us. And so I love your reflection of yourself type of analogy, which is also very important. And that's why we need someone to show us the way. We all need coaches. Even coaches need coaches. By the way, don't hire a coach that doesn't have a coach. They don't know the value. And so that's my opinion on that mirroring part.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Orly. And I've always had coaches as well, getting back to that. I've paid so many people over the years to help coach me and help me on the journey, because it's true. I mean, if you want to just do things on your own, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. But when you have a coach and a mentor who kind of shows you, because we can't know it all and do it all, And so it really takes a lot of people to be able to get you to the next level. And because, first of all, you have to get yourself out of the way. Let's talk about, Orly, about getting yourself out of the way.
Oh, it's getting out of your own way. It's not getting yourself out of the way. It's getting out of your own way, because whatever you're thinking is a lie. So let's start with that. Whatever you're thinking is a lie. If you can think that way, it's good. And I'll give you the analogy that I give about computers. So we all have one, whether it's a laptop or a computer, it doesn't matter. When it's overloaded, what happens to it? It crashes, right? Well, our brain is exactly like that. It's a computer that has had programs put in it by people we no longer know and no longer care about. But the programs are there and they're running the operating system. So they're running on lies. And that's what we sometimes believe. But how are we going to know that that is the lies that we are believing? What does it mean to get out of your own way? Is to stop those programs from running you and starting to create new programs that run the one you want to be. So
that's exactly what I was saying, of getting out of your own way, right? To be able to, so it's exactly what you're saying, Orly, to be able, because we always self-sabotage, right? And we may want things, but we're not willing to take the action to get what we want,
Yeah, for sure. You also want to think about, you talked about something very important right now, self-sabotage. We all do it, but what if we had interrupters to help us with those saboteurs? What if we recognize the saboteur in us and create interrupters? Those interrupters are helping us navigate the truth from the lie, because the brain doesn't know the difference from the truth or a lie, good or bad, wrong and right. And many people say to me, okay, until now, Orly, you had me. What do you mean there's no wrong and right and no good and bad? Well, I can actually prove it. What if I told you that the brain does not know the difference? So let's agree to that first. But what if I told you that something that's good for you can be bad for me, and something that's bad for me can be good for you, or whatever the contradiction of it? Which one of in something that's true to you or not true to me, whatever that is, the statement that will make it real is what I say to myself. This is good for me or bad for me, wrong for me or right for me. Many people have the wrong and right, good and bad mentality of what's out there, because there's a rule, a general rule in the universe of what's good and bad, but it's not true.
It's also called opinions.
An opinion is not wrong and right. So that can be also an opinion is never wrong and right.
Right.
Or good.
It's just an opinion. Yeah.
Exactly. So except that we either accept the opinion or we don't. And it's okay. And if the whole world can just respect each other's opinions, we would have such a peaceful world, right?
Yeah, I always say if every person can just be responsible for themselves, what a beautiful world we would have, right? Because we're always like pointing fingers at everybody else instead of just being responsible and taking our part seriously. I don't need to fix anybody else. I need to fix myself, because if I fix myself, I'm making this world better. And that's what it really comes down to. What do you think about that, Tami?
Well, I think that women often, and people in general, struggle with overthinking things. Like something happened in your day, and you think about it, and you know what? Our brain, as Orly says, is like this computer, and so our primal brain wants to protect us, wants to keep us safe, wants to, keep us in a contained sense, right? But then, as we start to realize, no, that's just. We may be on autopilot about that, but we can become whoever we want, and we can peel back the layers, and we can go in another direction. So, for instance, we might decide, okay, I want to do a new business, but then our primal brain, or maybe it's what people have told us in the past, or whatever, our limiting beliefs are going to tell us, you can't do that. You don't have enough money. You don't have support. You don't have all this stuff. It's going to offer you suggestions. You didn't need to realize that when you have a thought, it's just a suggestion from your brain. You don't have to take that and run with it, right, and overthink it to death. What you can do is you can test that and say, well, is that true? Because oftentimes it's not true. You have all kinds of support for you to step into something. You have friends, you have community, you have resources, you have all kinds of things you do. So I think that learning that your brain is going to offer you suggestions, and if you just put it on autopilot, it's going to confirm that to be true throughout the day by looking for evidence of that. But if you just instead challenge that thought and say, no, that's not true. I do have all of these different things. I can be all these things. I do like to wear this no matter what someone else says. I can be good with finances. I can have the body I want. If you instead give it a different suggestion, it's going to spend the rest of the day looking for evidence of that and take you toward that direction.
Yes. What I hear in what you're saying, Tami, is also releasing fear and doubt, because fear and doubt is a really big thing that stops us in our lives. What do you think about fear and doubt, Orly? Is that something that you'll be talking about in your talk?
Well, we all have heard this before. Fear is the acronym for fictional elements appearing real. And what I say about fear is that it is actually a total lie. What we fear is what we don't know. We have, and like Tami said about the reptilian brain, our amygdala is the one that keeps us safe. So anytime we want to do something new or venture into something else, our fear kicks in because our brain says, hey, listen, I can't protect you. I haven't been that route before. I've never done $1 million in my business. So I cannot bring you to $1 million because I've never done it before. So I can't save you or keep you safe during the journey. And this comes from our ancestors' times. I mean, literally all the way to cavemen. When we think about that, and when we know that the fear is not real, like we said, every thought you have is actually a lie. If it keeps you in the anxiety mode or in the fear mode, that tells you that it's a lie, because everything in the world comes from love. Your inner soul is source, and it knows better than you what's coming up ahead. So if you don't trust yourself, how are you going to navigate? And fear will keep you not navigating, not doing, paralyzed. That's when we say, like what Tami said about overthinking things, that keeps us in analysis paralysis, because we keep analyzing it to death because we've never been there before. So we don't take chances. So we don't take risks. But the risks are not do or die. They're just risks to move us forward. The worst case scenario, I love to play the worst case scenario thing, right? Worst case scenario is nothing will happen. And if I walk people through it, I would say, what's the worst case scenario if this business doesn't make $500,000? Well, then it's going to make $100,000. Okay, what if it doesn't make $100,000? Well, then it's going to make $10,000. What if you don't make any money with it? Well, then I'll lose my home, or I won't be able to pay my bills, so I'll lose my home. Okay, what if you lose your home? Well, I'm going to be homeless. And what's worse than that? Well, I don't know. I'll be in a park living on a bench. Okay, what's worse than that? And they say, well, I'll get sick. Okay, well, what's worse than that? And then they'll say, well, I don't know, I'll die. And I'm like, great, what's worse than that? And they go, what's worse than death? I'm like, yeah, what's worse than death? And they say, well, nothing. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you're worrying about? You're running against nothing. Your anxiety is about nothing. The worst case scenario will never happen because source, love, intellectual property of your own will never let you get there. So that's the proof.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Don't you love that, Tami?
Yeah, and I think as you take action, you realize, as Orly was saying, that a lot of stuff that we've been believing isn't true. And you challenge that, challenge those statements that are offered, that your brain's offering you, and then go past them by doing things that you're afraid of and keeping your promises to yourself. Okay, I'm going to, save X amount of money, or I'm going to, go after, having a better body, or I'm gonna, become a better communicator. Take the steps that are necessary to do that. Your brain will now, as I said, shift and start to prove that you can do all those things just by taking action, challenging those beliefs, challenging your fears. As I tell people, just run into the thing you're afraid of. Like really run into the thing. As Orly says, what's the worst thing that happened? So maybe you didn't get the outcome you wanted, but you grew in ways that you needed to make you the different kind of person that you are, that now can open up the doors for that to happen maybe in another direction. So you didn't lose 30 pounds, you lost 10 pounds. But you're not going to lose anything if you don't challenge those beliefs, take action, keep your promises to yourself, moving forward at all times.
Yeah, I love that. And we are here to grow. So I love that you brought growth into this whole thing. Because if we don't have a growth mindset, we're stagnant, right? We're stuck. We're in our head. We're not moving forward. We're in the delusion of the mind, right? Because the mind is very delusional. Or we're living in our feelings and emotions. And what are we doing? We're drowning because we're not taking the action, because we're so stuck in our thoughts, so stuck in our past, so stuck in what's not working, that we can't see the possibility that's right in front of us at all times. What's your thoughts on that, Orly?
Absolutely. When I talk about stagnation, think about our body. It's made mostly of water or liquid. And what happens to a stagnant standing water anywhere puddle in the street? It becomes stinky. There's a lot of mosquitoes. There's algae forming in there. And guess what's happening to your body? Your thoughts are creating that stagnation, which makes you miserable. And the more miserable you get into this spiral mode where it keeps you there constantly. Why is that? Because it's comfortable, because it knows what that feels like. Oh, that's normal for me, right? Anybody that says that, that's normal for me, or that's who I am. No. This minute is who you are, but a minute from now, it's who you were. It's not who you are. Every moment of every day, every little cell in our body is transforming. So that means, and you know that, right? You know that once a year, one of our limbs is completely replaced because of the way the body, the cells, everything works. So what does that tell you? That we are in motion constantly. So don't stay stagnant, or don't stay stagnant in your thoughts. Think differently with purpose. Be intentional about it, like Tami said. Be more intentional about doing something to get some type of growth than to stay stagnant where you are and in living in regret and shame and anxiety and stress and depression. That's all what stagnation is bringing to you. So knowing that, you have now the power to change it.
Yeah, I love that you talk about water that's just stagnant and stays in one place, because in my book I actually write about the flow and being more like water and be able to flow like water, right? Like a river flowing over the rocks, the water flowing under the rocks, just moving forward. And we have to learn to be that water that moves forward, because otherwise we will become that stagnant puddle that smells and doesn't really flourish into anything, doesn't grow like a beautiful flower. So I love that analogy because it so ties into the mindset. But in order to get there, you guys, would you agree that we have to eliminate certain things out of our lives to be able to move forward? Can we talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
So what do you think, Orly or Tami, about, how do we start eliminating things in our lives that are not working?
Well, the first thing I would say is that you want to eliminate negative people out of your life and negativity out of your life. Stop listening to the news. I don't listen to the news. My husband wants to tell me what's going on in the news, and I don't let him because I don't want it to affect me. My day is beautiful. I'm having a great time. I'm living in gratitude. I feel like going outside and hugging the world and hugging the sky. And if you bring one negative thing into my environment, I am going to kick you out because you have to protect yourself. Unfortunate and self, I'm talking about the big SELF, your soul, your mind, everything. You have to protect it. And if you don't, who will? You're the only one who knows what's best for you. So it's about protection, getting out of negativity. I don't want to take up all the time, but what I want to say is first and foremost, kick out any negativity out of your life, including negative people. And if you're living with those people, move away. I mean, like literally go into another room.
I love that. That's great. That is absolutely great advice. How about you, Tammy?
Yeah, I think that's so true. I always tell people think of your mind like a garden and you need to protect it, like put a fence around it, as Orly says, because people who you let into your mind garden, who you let into your life, your heart, what images, what, content, what food you put in your body, all these things, are going to impact you for good or for bad. And if you want to live your most joyful, purposeful, satisfying life, you need to certainly protect your time. So for me, just practically what I like to do is I get up in the morning and I don't reach for my phone because I know as soon as I do, I've just picked up a million people wanting to give me their opinions and their ideas and to create stress or anxiety or just to define my day in ways I don't want. So I leave my phone down. I usually spend some time either praying or I'll listen to like a sermon or a meditation or something that opens up my mind to think about things differently, to remind me, because I'm a person of faith, who I am, that I'm loved, that I'm a reflection of the Creator, that I have His light in me, that I am, a mountain mover. That I'm the head, that I'm not the tail, that there's favor and blessing that surround me every day. I tell myself those things every day. And then like Orly, I go out and live that, I hydrate properly. I treat my body in a way that I care about it, that it wants to reflect that I'm taking care of myself. I eat, that a certain way because of that. I exercise a certain way because those are practical ways that I continue, to feel good about myself. And I walk around every day and I simply say statements like, I see miracles everywhere I go. And guess what happens? I see miracles everywhere I go. I'm like deliriously happy, like, Orly says, I walk around grateful for every little moment because I choose to see the world that way rather than having everybody else define how I should see it, how I should feel about it. Instead, I get to choose that for myself. I choose on purpose how I want to show up for my family, how I want to show up in every, environment. And that for me is what has made all the difference. Those intentional choices, protecting my mind, adding resources around that are going to keep me growing in the directions I want. And I only include the people and the things that, will be a positive part of that growth.
Yeah, I love that you add, Tammy, about choosing, right? Because how important is it to choose what comes into our life? We all talked about this, or what stays out. I always say you make your bed and you sleep in it. So we have to protect our bed, right, and not let the different energies in. And sometimes some of them will slip in, but we have to learn to eliminate. I always say we can have everything we want in our lives if we can eliminate the things we don't want. So it's constant work. Would you guys agree to be able to eliminate things out and to reevaluate where you're at and where you want to be?
Right. When you believe in the Creator, as Tammy said, and that we are the likely image of the Creator and what He created, a lot of people say to me, because I believe in God and I believe in Jesus Christ, I'll tell you this. Many people think that they have no say and they are just walking aimlessly. And then they say, God, give me a sign. And I don't care who's your God, Buddha, Allah, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. But I'm going to say this. When you say to God, give me a sign, that's the sign. You just prayed. That's the sign. you're in it. And so a lot of people just like, show me a sign. What do you want him to show you? You have trees and gardens and grass around you, and there's paved streets, and you're breathing. You have skin, a roof over your head. You have hair, or you have food on your table. You have a fridge. You have a fridge or a dishwasher. I'm thankful for my dishwasher every single day. And I need to put that in there because it's the little things that we take for granted. And when people say they don't know how to have a sign from God, the creator, which we are the livelihood of it, here's what I say first. And Tami, I love the fact that you do a meditation or something every single day, because I read my Bible every day. I do affirmations. I do my gratitude list. I have a whole thing about meditation, everything. That's before I start my day. Nobody gets on my calendar before I say so. So that's another way to protect yourself. But back to the signs of what we want to have is that we take things for granted so much that I ask people, would you rather be here breathing, talking to me, or would you like to be plugged to a hospital bed with some intravenously, plugged things, a machine plugged into you for breathing? Would you like that? No, of course not. Well, then it's the same choice that Tami was talking about, that we have a choice. And what also Noah said, we have a choice every day, what we do every single minute. But here's the thing that we have all in common, 24 hours. And if we don't take advantage of that and feel grateful for every single moment, that's when we start to falter on everything, our dreams, our work, everything.
Yeah, and when we don't focus on our gifts, right? Because we all have so many gifts, and sometimes we just choose to just focus on our problems all the time, and it drains us, right? Because we're just, everybody's got problems. There's not a single person in this world that has no problems. But when we hyper focus just on our problems, where we don't see the blessings and the gratitude for everything we already have, then we do get stuck, because we're stuck in those problems rather than seeing all the blessings, all the opportunities that are always there for us, but we become blind to them. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think gratitude is a really important thing for all of us to focus on, because it gets you out of yourself. And there's something about that that empowers you. I think it pulls you in positive directions. I think it changes the way you feel and think, in the process of it. And it allows you to be a blessing to other people too. If you're a grateful human being, who doesn't want to be near you? Right? It sends out an energy that's attractive. I honestly think it creates, more opportunities for you. So it just changes and shifts so many things. And like I said, your brain will go in the direction you point it. So if you're grateful, it's going to be looking for more things to be grateful for, and more things will open up and come into your life because of it.
Yeah, so I love that, Tami. And what I say is about gratitude, which is so tied to that too. Gratitude is expansion, right? So gratitude has, again, flow to it. So when you're grateful, you have a flow. There's a gratitude, there's a flow, there's water, right? But when you're stuck, you're angry, you're in fear, you're resentful, you're hitting walls. You're stuck. It doesn't have that flow. And so noticing how gratitude brings so much happiness and joy into your life is just so important, because if you can live in gratitude, everything looks brighter every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, so we're all on the same page, and I love that so much. So when we do the World Healing Tour Collective, what is something that you want people to really walk away with after the event?
Well, many events are more geared to the rah-rah of the world, right? And what I think as a collective, is to embrace each and every person in the room so that they can feel how special, how much they matter, how much they're worth it, how much they are loved, and how much they can do. I mean, basically unlimited abundance in their own self. But the room is going to be electrified in that, because like attracts like. We cannot be in a room where somebody is not within our realm of energy. And that energy is basically sprung. It's like lighting up a candle in a very dark room. That candle lights up the whole room. And that's what I want for people to feel when they're there. is that there's a spark, a light inside of them that starts to shine and they feel it. I want them to leave feeling it. And I know that you guys are putting this event together, and the work that goes into that is tremendous. And because you're putting all that love and energy into it, it can only spark in the people that attend it. And I can't wait to see the transformations.
No, I love how she says that, right? To live lit up. That is just so beautiful. It so resonates with the heart. And you're right. What we're creating, Tami, is a space where people can feel connected. They can be plugged in. They know they're not alone. They know they have other positive people who want them to succeed. They know that they're leaders. They know that not to compare themselves to anybody else in the room because they're all perfectly where they need to be on this journey, right? So, all that's going to be in this room is love and happiness and joy and just lifting each other, with our words, with our, with our love, with our energy, because, we all need to, even as leaders and people that are already doing amazing things in the world, we need to fill our own cup. When I do the events, I know that I'm filling my own cup so I can go out and continue doing the work I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I've been involved in leadership training for a very long time, and it's a lonely place. When you are the person that goes after things, I tell people I define myself as somebody that when I'm charging after something, I'm literally putting the plane together as I'm flying, right? So when you kind of put that energy out in the world, it can be a very lonely place. And I think even when we're walking in our purpose and our confidence, we love and long to be around people that we can let our guard down. People that connecting with them will uplift our spirit. They don't want to take energy from us, but instead we bring our energy together and we multiply it. So I love the fact that when we will get together at this event, it's a place where people can come. They feel safe, as Orly says. They feel love. They feel joy is there. They feel intentional space has been created, to celebrate the amazing people that each one of them they are. That each person feels valued and part of this community. That they feel filled up, as you said, re-energized, and that they realize there's a whole bunch of people that can help them do more. That can accelerate their growth. That together we can multiply our impact in this world in big ways than little ways, and that they have a bunch of people around them that they can be real and authentic with. They don't need something from them, but instead collectively want to add something to each other.
I love, very well said. And authenticity is the highest vibration, even higher than gratitude. So the authenticity is very important, right? For trust, to be able to continue building together. So I love when you brought that into the conversation, because I really believe that people feel authenticity and they want to be a part of something authentic, something that's real. And I know we're committed to bringing that as well as Orly.
Yeah, I always say that, you have your core values. My core values are integrity, community, and service. And when I say that wholeheartedly, our authenticity just shows up, because we cannot live against each other. We cannot live against ourselves. We cannot live if we are just in always fight or flight mode. It doesn't work. And like you said, Noah, the flow has to be there. And you're bringing people into this room, and the people who are going to be in this room cannot be any different than all three of us. Mm-hmm. All three of us put together, oh my God, I can only imagine in one room how much energy we produce just between the three of us, let alone the 100 people that will be there. It's going to be electrifying. And something that you said, Noah, that was really, really powerful as well, about not only authenticity, but to plug in, right? Mm. Think of it that way. An event is like the receptacle in the wall, and you are coming in to plug in your energy into that receptacle. And what does it do? It provides more energy to you. And that's what this is going to be. I'm so excited about it. Can I contain it? Do you guys see it? Do you guys feel it?
Yes, I feel it. Absolutely. And I love something you said earlier, Orly. And Tami and I spoke about this before. A lot of events you go to, it's like, rah, rah, this speaker, get up. And we're not doing that, okay? We are doing this event with the purpose of quiet healing. Healing doesn't happen in the loud. Healing doesn't happen in the noise. Healing comes when we come with our hearts. We come with our soul. We come with our mission. We come with our purpose. We come with our leadership. And we come together for a common goal to create change in the world. And that's what I see us doing together, not the rah-rah, but because what we're bringing is so much louder than that, but in a different level. It doesn't have to be loud to be healing, to create change, to make something truly magical that we are bringing together with communities. So I couldn't be more excited to be collaborating with you, Orly, and with you, Tami. I feel this is God's doing this, brought us all together. I mean, it's so much bigger than us, because we really are together for the bigger purpose of the win for everybody. It's not for us, it's for us, for all of us, and I feel so good about the direction that we're taking and our commitment to make this world a more beautiful and, prosperous place and happy place and joyful place for all.
For sure.
Yeah. So in closing all this, what is something that you each want to say to kind of close the whole thing up? I would love to hear from you, Orly, and from you, Tami, before we end this podcast.
I have this deep belief that when you show up, you go up. I think I said it a little earlier, but people don't understand sometimes what that means. Showing up for yourself, showing up for the world to see you, showing up because nobody really recognizes you if you're not in the room. So show up for yourself and show up for your community, and the rest is only up.
I love that. The words of wisdom. Over to you, Tami.
I think each person is created with this amazing amount of gifts that they have, and that life is really discovering those and discovering your purpose and stepping into that fully and living that out. And I think when we do that, ourselves, that it changes everyone that we touch. And when we gather as a community of people that helps others do that, I mean, it just magnifies what happens. It changes our families, it changes our community, and it can spread across the entire world, right? When we're all living authentically in our purpose and joy and giftedness, that's how we make the greatest impact. And that's how we feel free. And so to be a part of an evening like this, really, and a movement like this, where we are welcoming everybody to come in and to live their most authentic, God-given lives. I think it's such a powerful experience for everyone that will be there. It'll be a blessing to everybody. For people that are looking for that, it'll draw them maybe into a deeper sense of what they're looking for and their next steps. And for those that need to be around other leaders, it'll give them a sense of support and community and the things they're doing, validation that they're already on the right path and they're doing really well. So I think it's going to be just such a good experience that all of us are going to enjoy and walk away feeling, as Orly says, that we've been powered up, that we are plugged into something incredible together. And that flow of energy from all of us will only go out more into the world and benefit all of us.
I love that. So beautiful. So let me ask you both separately before we end. How can people find you, Tami, and connect with you? You can go ahead and tell them.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, Tami Wellman, or you can find me on my Victorious Spirit Life, which is a global Christian community that I've created that has resources that help people step into living God's best for them.
I love that. That's awesome. And Orly, how about you? How can people connect with you and work with you?
They can connect with me on any social media. I am Orly Amor, or just look up Orly Amor. The website is meetorlyamor.com, and my phone number is everywhere. You can text me, call me, email me, all of it. I'm on WhatsApp. I'm on everything you can imagine online. So just Google me.
And what does Amor mean, Orly?
Well, Orly in Hebrew means you are my light. Yes, I'm born in Israel, but Amor means love.
Yes,
so
love.
you can't go wrong.
I love that. That's such a powerful name. Also, Tami Wellman. Think about it, Wellman. Like I love that because she does so much holistic stuff to heal people. So you guys, I am just so excited for this collaboration that we're doing. I know it's going to be amazing. I know it's going to touch many lives, and I know there might be a lot more to come, even the three of us doing things together. So I'm grateful for the both of you, and I can't wait to continue building and growing together.
Thanks, Noah. Thanks, Orly.
God bless. Thank you.
I want to thank you today for joining me on the World Healing Tour podcast. Until next time, remember to do these three things. Practice these three elements daily. Number one, remember every day to have a grateful heart and connect to your gratitude. When you're connected to gratitude, you're connected to positive feelings and positive emotions, and therefore drawing more positive people, things, and experiences into your life. Number two, remember every day to ground in love and compassion. First, love and compassion for yourself, and then learn to share that love and compassion with others. We all want more love and compassion, so we should be able to give an abundance of love and compassion in order to get an abundance of love and compassion in return. And number three, know that you are not alone. This is a guided journey. I say guided by God. So whether it's God for you, universe, higher power, whatever you call it, you're not alone. You're always being guided. You just need to learn to listen, and the answers will always be there. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Until next time, everyone, have a beautiful week. Namaste. The World Healing Tour Movement with your host, Noah Crane. Heal yourself, heal the world.